Hello, it's Tuesday the 19th of September and this is the results from the last Thunderball draw. I didn't win anything, didn't get any numbers on this ticket, but fortunately I had another ticket in the same draw that covered my losses, and I picked these numbers on Friday, the day before, because I had a feeling that number 5 was going to be the Thunderball, and the draw before that on Wednesday I won £10. So in the next draw I might use the same numbers or I might change them. Now, looking at the chart for the Thunderball at the moment, let's just see where all the main numbers are in relation to each other in terms of how many times they've been drawn on this axis and the last draw that they occurred in, which is on this axis, on the y-axis, and this is where the numbers are, and this is a chart. So all I'm doing is I'm taking this information, what the number is, how many times it's occurred, when it last occurred, and it's just these numbers here in this column, and based on that information there I produce a chart. Now, looking at this chart, we can see there are 3 numbers that are a lot more frequent than all the other numbers: 30, 31 and 32. And there are some numbers that are lagging behind, some numbers that are quite overdue at the moment, and all these numbers occurred quite recently. The most recent one is the bottom. Now, that's the main numbers. Now let's have a look at the Thunderball numbers. This is where they all are at the moment. Number 12 is the most overdue. Number 9 is lagging behind, and number 12, because it's quite frequent as well, looks like it's the most overdue for its frequency. That's why I've been picking number 12 a lot recently. But things have changed. If you notice, they've been using sets of balls 5, 6, 7 and 8 until draw 2, 1, 1, 4, when they switched to set of balls number 1, and then they jumped back up to number 7, and now they're back on set of balls number 2. Now, if you look, last time they changed from low numbers 1 to 4 up to the high numbers again, 7 to 5 to 8. Notice they did revert back to set of balls number 1 after 3 draws, and they've done the same again. See, they've been using sets 5 to 8. They've took one from 1 to 4 back to 5 to 8 and down to 1 to 4 again. So looking at this apparent trend where they use 4 sets of balls and 2 machines all the time, and they alternate between them. It looks to me like at the moment they're going to be using machines 5 and 6 like they have been doing recently, and I think they're going to be using sets of balls 1 to 4, and that's just from looking at the recent draw history. See, 5 and 6 sets 5 to 8 change into 1 to 4. So in the next draw it'll either be machine 5 or 6, and it'll be one of these sets of balls. So now this is the chart for the Thunderballs. Number 8 is the most overdue now, and I think I need to pick number 8 because I've noticed something interesting about that number. Now we're just looking at one machine here, machine number 5, and we'll just look at these 2 sets of balls, 1 and 3. Look where number 8 is. It is way behind. Well, all these draws have occurred with that machine and either one of these 2 sets of balls. All these draws have occurred, number 8 not come out in one of them, and then so all of a sudden there's all the rest of the numbers. So looking at that, number 8 massively overdue. Now that's the chart for set of balls number 3. In that machine, set of balls number 1 in that machine. It's when you look at both of them together. See, if you look at these 2, not really interesting. No. Number 8 seems to be sort of in the middle. But when we look at machine number 6, there it is again. Massively overdue. And if we look at those 2 machines, those 2 sets of balls again, 1 and 3. When we look at those 2 together, still overdue. Oh, maybe it's that one. See, it's not that it's not a very frequent number, it's just that at the moment it's very much overdue to occur with the 2 machines and the 4 sets of balls that they're using at the moment. So my choice now for Thunderball is going to be number 8. Now if we look at the main numbers and choose some numbers to pick with number 8, we can see this is where the main numbers are on that chart. Now one thing I just forgot to do when we're looking at the Thunderball, on the chart for the Thunderball, there's always been 14 Thunderballs, so we can look at the entire draw history, even including the draws when the top prize was only 250k. So I'll just do that again and see how overdue number 8 is. Yeah, still massively overdue. It just seems when we look at these two sets of balls, massively overdue. It's even off the chart, look. See, when that happens, you know that if either one of them sets of balls, and that either machine and set of balls 1 or 3, you know it's most probably going to be Thunderball number 8. And that's looking at the entire draw history summarised in this chart. Now the main numbers, there's only been 39 numbers since the top prize went up to 500k, so we don't have to look at all the draws, just the ones where it's 500k. So now we're just looking at the main numbers. This is the chart for the main numbers at the moment for these two machines and these 4 sets of balls. Now, looking at this chart, 32 most frequent, not particularly overdue, but for some reason I'm going to pick that number. 34 lagging behind, and basically these aren't the numbers that I put on last time. I'm changing my numbers, and the reason why is because last time I don't know what I was thinking last time, I can't remember, but this time 15 and 34 from last time, but number 6, now I can't remember why I picked these numbers. In fact, if we narrow it down, yeah, there we go, see, 31 overdue in this machine for those sets of balls, so maybe I should pick 31. Let's look at machine number 5. And machine number 5, 17 most overdue. But what we need to do is narrow it down even further. Let's look at just this set of balls. Now, see, this is why I'm picking 15. Machine 6, set of balls 1, 15, never occurred yet. Right. Set of balls number 2, 32, which is past this diagonal line, so it's overdue for its frequency. If we look at set of balls number 3, see, not much to go on that chart. Set of balls number 4, everything's as it should be really on that. So we're looking at machine number 5, set of balls number 4, and see 31's there, 6 there. Trying to remember why I picked these particular numbers. See, I did this yesterday. I picked these numbers. I changed my numbers yesterday and decided to make a video today. I can't remember what I did yesterday. Oh yeah, that's why I picked 16. Probably because of where it is on this chart. Yeah, it looks like it's overdue for its frequency on this chart. So that's why I picked these numbers. Let's look at this set of balls in both machines. 16 overdue, and there's 31. 20 very overdue. Set of balls number 3. There's number 6. I think number 20 needs to come out. Might change it again to number 20. Might change something. So really, I mean, you've got a lot of choice, a lot of numbers to choose from. I've shown you a lot of charts in this video. I mean, if you want to pause it and analyse a chart, you know, that's up to you. There's a lot of ways to analyse a chart. One of the ways you can do it is by doing this. Count how many numbers in a column, and if there's a lot of numbers in one column, then you know that it's quite likely that one of the numbers in that column is going to drop because there's a lot of numbers in it. You see, there's 39 numbers altogether. 5 of them will be drawn, so for every 8 numbers there's a chance that at least one of them will be drawn on average. So wherever you can put 8 numbers in a box, right, see there's 8 numbers, one of these is going to be drawn. So have I picked one of them? Nope. Maybe I should. So, you know, you shouldn't really pick the same numbers that I'm picking. I mean, you can if you want, because I do seem to be winning quite a lot recently. But really, it's up to you what numbers you pick. So, I hope that looking at these charts helps you to pick your numbers. This is the chart that you need to be looking at the moment. See, they've got all the main numbers, all the Thunderball numbers on this section. See, at the top it tells you how many times the number has been drawn, and this tells you the last draw that it occurred in. And we're only looking at the draws when these 2 machines and these 4 sets of balls were used. So either 2 machines and either one of the 4 sets of balls. So we're only looking at the draws when they were used, and we're only counting how many times they've occurred in these 2 machines and these 4 sets of balls. So that's what the chart looks like in the run up to draw 2117. There's the Thunderballs, there's the main numbers. So good luck and bye for now.